Hi, everyone, and welcome to this latest Minisode of the Wine Pair Podcast. I'm Joe, your sommelier of reasonably priced wine. And this is my wife and my wine pairing partner in crime, Carmela.
Hello.
Oh, see, you've remembered to do the different intro, and we are the Wine Pair. Okay, if you are new to our podcast, these Minisodes they're really just shorter versions of our regular episodes that we usually do on weeks when we just won't be able to get to a full-size episode.
Okay.
Right? And instead of
a full meal deal.
That's right. That's right. And instead of tasting and reviewing 3 reasonably priced and easy to find wines, which is what we normally do, in these minisodes, we focus more on things like wine etiquette or wine education or wine tips. And we try to make it fun and understandable for regular, everyday people like us. Right?
Perfect.
And by the way, in case you were wondering, our podcast is recommended by the editors of Decanter Magazine, which is really cool. Okay, so Carmela, in this... What was that? Okay, Carmela, there you go. That's better. In this minisode, we're going to focus on how to pair wine with a chocolate.
My God, that's like my favorite episode ever. Why is it a mini?
Because we can't take all the joy that it's going to bring. I don't know. Now, for some people, that may sound like a weird combo.
No, never.
Really? No?
Well, see, for you would want to be thinking about like the wine part, but I want to think about the chocolate part.
Yeah, so it's a good... And
makes everybody happy.
Yeah, it's actually a classic combination, and for somebody like you, I think it's a really good combination. And if you are curious, for those of you out there in listening land, we did do a full episode with tastings and reviews around last Valentine's Day on wine and chocolate, episode 16. Check that out. Okay. Okay, Carmela?
Yes.
Now, picture this. You want to do something romantic for me, and you want to pair some wine and chocolate with your significant other, which is me.
Who?
Me.
Wait.
Me.
Oh,
okay.
Okay. No surprises then, huh?
Yeah. Or maybe you want to do a wine tasting with friends that includes chocolate.
Yeah.
How about that?
Okay.
But you're not sure where to start.
Okay. I'm not sure where to start, Joe.
Okay. Well, I've got some handy dandy tips and ideas for you, Carmela.
Whoa, you're always ready with handy dandy tricks and tips, aren't you?
I am. Okay. So the first thing you have to consider is the kind or the darkness of the chocolate. Why do you think that matters, Carmela?
Why do I think the darkness of it? Because it's going to change what kind of wine you're going to drink with it.
Yeah, like what would be something like, what's the difference between dark chocolate and milk chocolate?
Well, dark chocolate has more cocoa.
That's right.
Is that right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Less sugar?
Don't you know
no
that?
milk?
Well, you're the baker.
I don't know.
You're
It's
the
more
one who's supposed to know that
concentrated.
stuff. Okay.
I think it's more concentrated. Don't ask me.
I don't know.
Again, no
milk,
script.
I got
well,
milk.
Milk has
milk
to have,
chocolate has milk in it.
Yeah, typically we'll have milk in it. And yeah, it's richer. Like, a dark chocolate is usually richer, deeper,
bitter,
more intense.
But also like bitter tasting.
A little bit of bitterness on it. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're
definitely a different taste profile.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Different wines are going to taste very different depending on the type of chocolate, and so you want to pair them kind of carefully.
Chocolate's kind of like wine.
It actually is.
Yeah.
It is. It has different taste profiles depending on what the darkness is and where it's from and who made it.
Can we start tasting chocolate?
You mean do the chocolate pair podcast?
Yes, can we?
Maybe that'll be our second podcast.
Okay.
All right. So the second thing you want to look for, Carmela, is softer and silkier wines.
Ooh.
And I think that's actually relatively good for us because we kind of tend to like those kinds of wines. But, you can pair chocolate and any kind of wine. But what typically what they say, they say is that big, bold wines with high tannins can be a little bit difficult to pair with chocolate because they can overpower the chocolate. Even if it's a dark chocolate, they may overpower it. So if you're dying to pair your if you're dying to pair your big Cab Sauv with chocolate, what you probably want to do is choose like a really rich, like chocolate torte or something that's got a lot of chocolate and flavor and butter and fat and all that kind of, not just like a chocolate bar, right?
Interesting.
And now don't worry if you're not sure what it means when we say softer and silkier, because in about 2 minutes, we're going to tell you what some of those wine pairings should be. Okay. Maybe not even 2 minutes. Maybe more like 27 seconds.
I love it.
Okay. So then you need to match the intensity of the chocolate. So we've been talking about intensity of chocolate. Dark chocolate, more intense. Milk chocolate, white chocolate even we'll talk about.
Right.
So you want to match the intensity of the chocolate with the intensity of the wine. So let's go over some good rules of thumb.
Okay.
What do you say, Carmelita?
I would love to hear what you have to say.
Okay, let's start with milk chocolate. Your favorito.
Yeah, it is.
You do like milk chocolate.
I love just all chocolate.
I'm a dark chocolate kind of person.
I know
but you like the
are.
milk.
I really, I love milk, but I'm finding that I'm taking a real liking to dark chocolate.
Well, you can't have mine. You can't just start eating mine.
I'm not. I usually stay away from yours.
Yeah, you do. But now you're starting to say you like dark chocolate.
Yeah, just you know what? Just
That's mine.
You better lock it up because you
Lock
never
it up.
know. That's one thing I don't hold back from is eating chocolate.
It's true. It's true, ladies and gentlemen. If there's chocolate lying around, it doesn't matter. Even if it was my chocolate, it will be gone if it lasts
no.
more than a couple of days.
I mean, your chocolate is my chocolate. That's part
true.
of our vows.
That is part of the pairing.
You know what?
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Sickness, health, dark chocolate, milk chocolate, it's shared.
That's right.
Okay.
Okay, so let's talk again about milk chocolate. Milk chocolate is smooth and creamy. So the right red wines are either lighter bodied like a Pinot Noir or very smooth like a Merlot. And then the right white wines are those that are a little bit on the sweeter end and with a little spice like a Riesling or a Gewürztraminer. I also think maybe the Gruner Veltliner might be a good combination if you want a little spice, right? And then another, if you like a sweet wine, you want a sweet wine, a ruby port, which is a little lighter port and a little less aged port, is a great dessert wine to pair, and also an ice wine can be a good one
With what kind
milk
of chocolate?
with milk
Oh,
chocolate.
milk also.
So we're talking about milk chocolate.
Okay.
Now we're going to talk
ice
about
wine.
Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah.
okay.
You don't like ice
No,
wine?
I love it.
Yeah, it's
Fun.
good. We haven't had it for a long time.
No.
Super sweet sometimes.
Very
too.
can be, yes.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, dark chocolate. Since dark chocolate has a really strong taste but not a lot of creaminess, you want to avoid white wines and stick with red.
Okay.
Really, it's hard to pair a really acidic or like that kind of white wine with a dark chocolate.
Interesting. I can see that.
Now, if you like a Cab Sauv, a fuller Cab Sauv would actually work okay with dark chocolate. Zinfandel, though, would be a really good choice. Amarone would be a good choice. Merlot, again, would be a good choice. And rather than just a plain Cab Sauv, I might go more with like a Bordeaux-style blend because I think you get a little bit more of those different flavors and richness in there, and that would go well. And then in terms of a dessert wine, a richer port or a port-like wine, a tawny port or a vintage port would be really good. Really good with dark wine.
Sounds lovely.
Now, what about white chocolate? What do you feel about white chocolate?
Well, white chocolate isn't actually chocolate.
It's not, is it?
No, it's not.
Why do they call it white chocolate then?
Well, I don't that's a good question. We should have looked that up. I don't know. Maybe because it has a similar texture. You can use it as an addition to a lot of different, even baked goods.
But it doesn't have cocoa in it.
No.
Maybe it's just like everything but cocoa or
it's,
something.
Well, maybe that is the case.
I don't know.
It's definitely creamy. It's hard to find like dairy free.
Yeah.
White chocolate.
Hey, those of you out there know the difference between white chocolate and dark chocolate or milk chocolate, whatever, just let us know.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
just we want to find out why do we call it white chocolate if it's
Exactly.
not actually chocolate.
That's right. But if you want, if that's your thing, if you like white chocolate, there's some people out there that love it. I'm not so crazy about it, but there's some people
I
out
like
there
it
that
with
love
certain things. Like it's a good combination.
It can be, yeah.
Yeah.
And you use it sometimes in your baking.
I do.
But a sweet wine, a sweet white wine like a Moscato or a sweet Riesling or a demi-sec sparkling wine, those are good choices.
I could see sparkling.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about sparkling.
Okay.
So let's talk about, to close it out, let's talk a little bit about sparkling wine and chocolate pairings because that also seems like a natural, especially if you're trying to celebrate something, want to do something
Because
romantic,
something
right?
special's coming up, some special occasion.
Exactly. Now, the main thing you have to worry about or think about with the sparkling wine is how sweet is the sparkling wine because you want the sweetness of the sparkling wine to pair well with the chocolate. And remember, sparkling wine is tricky because if it says dry or extra dry on the bottle, it's actually on the sweeter side. And if it says brut, it's dry and it's sort of confusing. So you want to make sure that you got that. Okay. With milk chocolate, you want to focus on sparkling wines that are kind of in the middle of the sweetness range. So you do want to look for a dry or an extra dry. A Prosecco is a really good choice there, and sweeter red sparklings too. So you could do like a sweeter Lambrusco or something like that.
Okay.
You can go like higher in the sweetness range, but you might find that then the milk chocolate sort of is overpowered by a
Sure.
super sweet. So you may want to avoid like a sec, like or a demi-sec. You might want to stay more in that like dry or extra dry range. With dark chocolate, you want dry. But real dry, like brut. So you want brut or extra brut. They're the least sweet. And then red sparkling wines that are not sweet. Like you can try a sparkling Syrah. Remember we tried that sparkling Syrah? That would go really well with a dark a dark chocolate.
Lovely.
And then with white chocolate, you can go with the sweeter wines that we mentioned. Like for milk chocolate, and you can go a little even higher in the sweetness scale, like like a dolce or a really sweet like a really sweet wine.
Okay.
And then, of course, overall, one of the most fun things to do overall is just try stuff out.
Yeah, test it out.
See what you think. Get a bunch of different chocolates. Get a bunch of different wines.
If you need an excuse, to have chocolate, it's
and do
because
your own
you're
tasting.
doing a little homework.
That's right. Do your own tasting. Decide for yourself, and then maybe you'll go, I really like this, or I really don't like that.
And you can report back. You can let us know what you think or what you found out.
Yeah, that's right. So anyway, we've got some articles and links in our show notes. So if you go to our website, thewinepairpodcast.com, you can find some links and you find our show notes here. But that's it for this mini-sode. See, it's just little. It's just like a little bite.
Fun.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot.
I learned a lot too, except what white chocolate is.
I know,
so
what the heck?
That was dumb.
Wow.
We should have figured that out.
We need to find that out.
I know.
I mean, I know what's kind of in it, but it's just there's no cocoa or chocolate in it.
No cocoa.
No cocoa, no cacao, no cacao.
Okay. Well, we want to thank you for listening. And if you haven't done so yet, you can support our show for free just by subscribing or giving us a rating and review. And you can also follow us on Instagram or Counter Social. And you can visit our website at thewinepairpodcast.com. And you can email us at joe@thewinepairpodcast.com. And you can send us ideas and notes and things you want us to try and things you want us to figure out on our own and not ask you about, like what white chocolate is.
Wow.
And you can also check out our regular sized episodes on our website.
Wow, the full meal deals.
That's right. In the podcast service you're listening to right now. Mm-hmm. And as we like to say, and just remember this, life is short. So stop drinking shitty wine and stop eating what? And stop
shitty chocolate.
Wait, I got to say it better.
I just swore.
And I screwed it up. So, and as we also like to say, stop eating shitty chocolate.
Okay.
Okay. Bye-bye.
I like any kind of chocolate.
I know. Even shitty chocolate?
Well,
you like shitty chocolate?
Well, it depends on what do you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot to talk about.
Chocolate in your mind.
Shitty. I don't know. You know those crappy like Easter bunnies that are just like the Palmer ones.
Yeah.
Remember
I
you
don't
used to
want
get
something
those,
too.
You know that, but it's like waxy.
Do.
Like the
They're
chocolate
not,
is like waxy.
I'd probably finish it, but I shouldn't. Like,
and you know
like,
what?
You don't like it.
And they had those like candy eyes.
Ooh.
Those sugary candy
yeah,
eyes.
and they were sugar. Those were not chocolate.
And then you still ate them, and they were hollow. And you thought they were a beautiful
because they were
normal
Easter.
sized bunny, and they weren't solid, and except for their ears.
What they weren't milk, dark, or white chocolate.
And what wine did you have with your Easter bunny?
When I was 7.
This episode's going way longer.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you,
anyway,
Carmela,
that's
for
the
doing
end.
this.
Okay.
I like
we
it.
don't have to say anymore. But when I was 7, I was drinking a beautiful bottle of Sprite. Sparkling Sprite.
Cider. That's right. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.